There are tons of music genres out there. Classical, pop, R&B, soul, but there is absolutely none like hip-hop. Hip-hop has helped the whole music industry attain new heights where artists are not confined and can express themselves in what they truly believe. It has helped tackle social injustice issues like pride, poverty, racism, the war on drugs, and freedom of speech. Hip-hop albums have not only changed the way people think and look, but moved entire communities. Through lyrics, dance, and performances, artists have shaken things up and made a real impact. But where there's influence, there's controversy. Hip-hop has stirred up more drama than any other genre. In this video, we will be diving into the 10 most controversial rap albums ever. These aren't just albums, but game changers that flip the music world upside down. So if you're ready to explore the most provocative hip-hop albums ever released, let's not waste any more time. Without further ado, we're gonna get right into things. Number 10, Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Now, kicking off the list, we have Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Apart from Kanye just being Kanye, the lyrical content was pretty controversy-free. What made the sheer existence of this record so problematic is its original cover art. Designed by George Condo, it shows West on a couch with a nude, armless winged female who has fearsome features and a long spotted tail. West is also nude, holding a beer. West told Condo that he wanted a phoenix painting, and after seeing the artwork, the rapper expressed his admiration for how they both, quote, express ourselves with our truest vision, end quote. Condo later revealed that the album cover was a publicity stunt intended to attract attention. However, not everyone saw it like that. It led to a series of debates and controversies on the internet among fans. Many retailers and streaming services also found it explicit and banned it in several outlets. Apart from the cover art, the album was known for its bold themes, provocative lyrics, and Kanye's unapologetic self-expression. The album explored fame, excess, and the dark side of celebrity life, mixing fantasy with reality. Songs like Power and Runaway discuss Kanye's battles with his ego and public image, making the album very personal and sometimes uncomfortable to listen to. However, the album's controversy challenged industry norms, forcing streaming services and retailers to confront censorship and content regulation issues. Since then, we have had more artists come out and express themselves without fear of censorship. An example is next on our list. Number 9, Montero by Lil Nas X. The debut record Montero by the one and only Lil Nas X. Ever since the world has got to know this young man, one thing that has been constant is that he doesn't fit in the mold of anybody's beliefs or conform to people's reactions about him. Like Kanye, he is willing to craft widely controversial stunts to help sell his records. Just before he released this album, Lil Nas ensured that everything, ranging from the marketing to the rollout, was carefully planned with various unique, controversial stunts for each and every stage. The first stunt was inside the single Montero music video. In the video, we saw him give a lap dance to the devil. He did that knowing full well that it would cause an uproar among religious people. And he didn't stop there. He went on to sell shoes with satanic imagery and even a drop of blood in them. Who wouldn't react to that? At this point, fans, politicians, rappers, major news outlets, and the whole internet thought that they had had enough. The whole internet was buzzing with negativity about the song. The song received so much scrutiny that it was almost pulled off streaming services. But if there's anything about Lil Nas X, it is that he doesn't care. He went on to pull more and more intentional stunts that was sure to aggravate the mass audience. In the music video for one of the other singles on the album, Lil Nas X portrayed himself as pregnant and then giving birth to the album on the day it was released. Even the album image cover was provocative. The song was accused of trying to negatively influence youths, who make up the highest number of his fan base. While all these allegations were flying around, Lil Nas X defended himself, portraying himself as someone who has struggled with his sexual identity all his life, as all he was trying to do with these stunts was to make people feel comfortable about themselves and in their own skin. Number 8, Goblin by Tyler the Creator. Coming in at number 8, we have Tyler the Creator's debut album, Goblin. It had a big impact on the music industry because of its shocking content and cover art. The cover, showing a deep and creepy close-up of Tyler's face, set the tone for the album's disturbing themes. The lyrics, which talked about depression, violence, and rebelling against society, surprised and upset many people. The album was about a lot of insane things, ranging from having 218 homophobic slurs to being accused of promoting satanic activities to doing even more crazy things like eating a live cockroach in one of its music videos. The album totally shook the whole industry. The irony was that the album made Tyler, the Creator, very famous. He went from being an up-and-coming to being a top star in the rap industry as a result of the amount of negative fame the album gave him. Countries like the UK and New Zealand ended up banning him, not only his music, from their countries because of things he said on the project. The album had various governments thinking that Tyler, the Creator, was a threat to public order and that his music could inspire riots across the world. Tyler himself later had to come out and say that the album was a portrayal of a fictional character and that the album didn't represent his personal beliefs. Goblin helped boost the alternative hip-hop movement, inspiring new artists to push boundaries and explore dark and controversial themes. Tyler's success shows that there was an audience for unconventional and provocative art, encouraging others to take risks without fear of being sidelined. But it wasn't always like that. 3 years before Goblin, there was an incident with an album that is next on our list. Number 7, Untitled by Nas. Nas's album Untitled released in 2008 and is one of the most controversial albums ever, and it's not only because of the lyrics but also because of the title. The album was initially to be called the N-word, which obviously I can't say. That for sure caused a lot of debate and controversies, even months before the album was released. It caused some strong reactions from civil rights activists since the news of the name hit the masses. Many people, particularly those outside of hip-hop culture, were deeply offended by the intended title, and even the hip-hop community had mixed reactions. Some rappers supported Nas's right to artistic freedom, while others felt the title was disrespectful. The controversy escalated to the point where a politician, Hakeem Jeffries, pressured the New York State Pension Fund to withdraw investments from Vivendi, the then parent company of Universal Music Group, where Nas was signed to if the title wasn't changed. Nas later folded and changed the name of the album to Untitled. In addition to the name issues, the cover of the album also caused even more backlash. The cover depicted the back of a shirtless Nas with flagellation scars forming the shape of the letter N, a reference to the racial slurs and how slaves were tortured in the United States. However, the controversy didn't stop with the album's cover and title. The lyrical content also caused lots of debate. In the album, Nas boldly talked about systemic racism, black identity, and social justice in his songs, challenging the music industry and society as a whole. Tracks like Sly Fox and America criticized media manipulation and the American political system, making the album very controversial. Some saw it as a strong statement on the suffering and strength of African Americans, while others found it offensive. There were protests and attempts to censor the album, showing how uncomfortable it made some people by addressing taboo topics. Despite the backlash, Untitled was praised for its honesty and fearless approach to difficult issues. Nas's decision to use his music to start tough conversations made the album one of the most provocative and important in hip-hop history. Number 6, 7 Day Theory by Tupac. Coming in at number 6, we have Tupac's posthumous album, The Don Killuminati, The 7 Day Theory. Since the beginning of his career, Tupac has been known for his free thinking and activism and his ability to tackle many debates with his powerful beliefs. However, this particular project caused a lot of controversy based on the issues it was targeting. A lot of albums get controversial because of the lyrics of the songs in there. However, for Tupac's album, it was different. It was the cover art that caused people to stir. The cover art depicted Tupac being crucified on the cross in the same manner that Jesus Christ was, with the fact that anything that appears to be a shade at religion always causes lots of issues. This wasn't an exception. The matter was debated so much that it put a lot of negativity on the rapper's name, despite the fact that Pac himself put on the cover that he wasn't trying to disrespect Jesus. Now, the fact that the album came out a few months after his death didn't help this case. Rather, it led to a lot of allegations and rumors that he had faked his own death. Even today, some people still believe that Tupac is in Cuba and that he never actually passed away. And this all stems from the ideas fans got from this album alone. In addition to all of this, the album also had lots of people believe that Tupac was affiliated with the Illuminati, judging based on the name of the album, The Don Killuminati, The 7 Day Theory. What a crazy name to give a posthumous record, by the way, and they really were not to blame because Tupac actually talked about that on the album and spoke to the meaning of the title of the album, saying, quote, "This people is telling me about this Illuminati while I'm in jail. That's another way to keep your self-esteem low. That's another way to keep you unconfident. I'm putting the K in front because I'm killing that. Illuminati, trust me," end quote. You can now see how the lyrics there would have nursed multiple conspiracy theories from a lot of people. The thing is, that's what the public likes, and that they are able to formulate their own ideas and then run loose with them. Because of the numerous insane theories that some people even still believe today about this album, it remains one of the most controversial of all time. But it still wasn't as controversial as the next one. Number 5, Sleeping with the Enemy by Paris. This album, Sleeping with the Enemy by Paris, stands as a testament to the provocative power of hip-hop in addressing social and political issues head-on. Originally released in 1992, this album didn't waste any time attracting a lot of controversy. Even before delving into the lyrics, the album cover itself was crazy enough. The cover featured Paris holding a gun with lyrics that explicitly criticized President George H.W. Bush. Paris's album Sleeping with the Enemy had a profound impact on music and society. It highlighted a clash between artistic freedom and commercial interests in mainstream music. The album also sparked widespread discussion about race, police brutality, and political dissent. Songs like Bush Killa directly challenged President George H.W. Bush, urging listeners to rethink authority and power. This approach resonated deeply, sparking debates about music's role in activism and artists' duty to address social issues. The things he talked about on the album not only caused Paris to be dropped from Tommy Boy Records, but also revealed how record labels were hesitant about supporting bold political statements at that time. Paris's aggressive beats and cinematic techniques not only intensified the album's impact, but also inspired a new wave of socially conscious artists. Sleeping with the Enemy thus played a pivotal role in shaping hip-hop as a genre that could entertain while provoking critical reflection, cementing Paris's legacy as a pioneer in politically engaged rap. Overall, the album remains a landmark album not only for its musical innovations, but also for its unapologetic stance on social and political issues. Paris's fearless approach to addressing power dynamics and societal issues, combined with his strong artistic vision, ensured that the album would be remembered as a provocative and influential work. Its legacy continues to illustrate the enduring impact of music in advocating for social change, extending far beyond the realms of hip-hop. Number 4, Eminem's The Slim Shady LP. Now starting the upper section of this list, we have Eminem's The Slim Shady LP. When Eminem first came to the scene, he was first seen as just another white rapper whose uniqueness is his bleached hair. After the commercial flop of his first album, Infinite, Eminem needed some type of miracle if he wanted to cement his place within hip-hop's pantheon. The Slim Shady LP was that miracle. After its release, it became quite apparent that he was super talented and was destined to make it big in the industry. However, the album turned several heads because of its dark lyrics mixed with a twisted sense of humor that both entertained people and scared the living hell out of them. The comedic absurdity of the lyrics makes this album a dark romp through a comic book about a psychotic, disgusting protagonist who does the most ridiculous things just because he can. Critics accused Eminem of being plain misogynistic with his lyrics, and he came out and acknowledged those accusations, saying that he has had fairly salty relationships with women, and that women just make him mad sometimes. Eminem's lyrical approach on this album was absolutely outstanding and something very few artists can pull off. Before Eminem and this record, the hip-hop community did not receive white artists well, as they were viewed as artists who took hip-hop in a corny direction and were only in it to make money. But when this record came out, the whole perspective of hip-hop changed. Eminem showcased lyrical and technical ability on the project. The album went on to win the Best Rap Album Award at the 2001 Grammys, and a single on the album, My Name Is, won Best Rap Solo Performance. While the overall quality of the album is that of a divine nature, the content and overall theme of the record are the complete opposite. With the amount of criticism Eminem received after the release of Infinite, he decided to go with I don't give a fuck attitude, promoting misogynistic, drug-abusing, and violent ideologies. The public outcry on this album was so much that just a few months after releasing this one, he released another where he clapped back and called out the hypocrisy of his haters in society, all while going in a much more personal and dark direction. And that takes us to the third album on this list. Number 3, the Marshall Mathers LP. This album set the entire world on fire as it challenged everything that pop culture and, in the greater sense, society stood for at the time. Tracks like I Just Don't Give a Fuck and Still Don't Give a Fuck perfectly sum up Eminem's approach to the album. How he does not care what people think about him or the record, saying whatever is on his mind, showing no care for the consequences. This is exactly what hip-hop needed at the time and something Eminem needed as well, and it paid off as this project led Eminem to commercial success, something really ironic when looking at the goal for this record. Much of the album was spent addressing his rise to fame and attacking those who criticized his previous album. Just like its predecessor, the Marshall Mathers LP was surrounded by significant controversy upon its release while also propelling Eminem to the forefront of American pop culture. Criticism centered on lyrics that were considered violent, homophobic, and misogynistic, as well as a reference to a high school massacre. It was criticized at a United States Senate hearing while the Canadian government considered refusing Eminem's entry into the country. Additionally, the album sparked debate and outrage due to its explicit language, dark themes, and provocative storytelling. Eminem, known for pushing boundaries, took it to another level with tracks that delved into violence, misogyny, and personal struggles, often blurring the lines between satire and sincerity. However, despite the controversies, it received widespread acclaim from critics who praised Eminem's lyrical ability and considered the album to have emotional depth. Rolling Stone magazine described the record as loud, wild, dangerous, out of control, grotesque, unsettling, but ultimately captivating. The Marshall Mathers LP has been included in numerous all-time lists and is widely regarded as Eminem's greatest album. Number 2, Two Live Crew, As Nasty as They Wanna Be. Now, coming in as the second most controversial album of all time, we have As Nasty as They Wanna Be by Two Live Crew. Just a glance at the track list and album cover makes it evident that this was an incredibly sexually explicit record, shocking audiences who were unprepared for its bold nature. It received so much backlash that it became the first record in history to be legally deemed obscene by a court. Within a year of its release, efforts were underway to ban the album in court. Eventually, it was successfully banned in Florida, the hometown of the band, leading to the arrest of 2 Live Crew members for performing their songs in a Florida club where their music was prohibited. The whole issue reached its peak when a record store owner was arrested for selling the album to an undercover officer. Additionally, 2 Live Crew members faced legal repercussions for performing songs from the album. Although they were eventually acquitted by a jury, the obscenity ruling was final. It's quite absurd in retrospect that the band was arrested for the same thing that is now accepted today. The legal battles surrounding As Nasty as They Wanna Be were a landmark case for free speech in music. The controversy undoubtedly helped pave the way for more artistic freedom in hip-hop and the music industry as a whole. It led to a change in policy which led to the creation of the Parental Advisory sticker, a warning label that first appeared on the group's subsequent album fittingly titled Banned in the USA. And at number 1, we have NWA's Straight Outta Compton. At the topmost spot, we have the most controversial rap album of all time, Straight Outta Compton by NWA. Straight Outta Compton is one of the rare albums that changed the direction of hip-hop music entirely. Originally released in 1988, Straight Outta Compton compelled the mainstream audience to see the hostile, underprivileged side of American living. Other previously listed albums caused a public outcry, but none of them moved near to what this album accomplished. The group, which consisted of Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and the rest of the crew, really cooked on their legendary 1988 album. When it comes to the significance of Straight Outta Compton, when we look at all of the backlash and actual bans that this album got from receiving proper promotion and radio play, this LP showed the world a new side of not just music, but reality as a whole. Rappers had recorded songs about their wariness of the police department, but few had released material as bold as one of the songs on the album, Fuck the Police. The track represented the frustration and anger towards the Los Angeles Police Department that had been building in the black community throughout the City of Angels. The song is a raw and abrasive treatise on the effects of drugs on the black community during the late 1980s. The album went on to create the most mayhem with radio bans and FBI investigations. Afterwards, many police officers refused to work on NWA's shows, making it nearly impossible for them to perform. At a time when rap music was mostly about partying and fun, NWA's stark portrayal of street life was a tough sell to mainstream audiences. This led to significant efforts to suppress the album's popularity. Nevertheless, the album reached double platinum sales status, being the first to do so without commercial support. The LP endured and became a cornerstone of hip-hop culture. As a group, the history of NWA has been well documented, subject to countless interviews, articles, books, feature films, and documentaries. Straight Outta Compton laid the groundwork for gangsta rap and conscious hip-hop. Its ability to weather intense criticism and still thrive makes it not just the most controversial rap album ever, but also one of the most important. Considering the little amount of censoring we have today, do you think we can have an album like Straight Outta Compton ever again? Also, do you think I have missed out on an equally or even more controversial album? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, you will also love this other one. Thanks for watching.